Visiothon, May the 27th through up to the 30th. And of course, we are together. And Sis Lukho.
Hi, Vindisi. We're back. It's a busy one, I must say. But like I said, around about this hour, we're chatting all things Banapile, ECD registration drive. And on the line this afternoon, we've got the Assistant Director of the DBE. That's, was it, I think, Basic Education? Department of Basic Education. Yes, DBE. Whoo, these abbreviations.
The people who work for government,
exactly.
they have those, GGM.
And so we've got Lerato Mpaba on the line this afternoon. Lerato, good afternoon. You're speaking to Lukho. How are you today?
Good afternoon, and thank you for having me on your show today.
Oh, man. Welcome. We're talking Banapile today. I'm not Sotho, though I'm married to one, Lerato. So Banapile means children first, right?
Yeah. Banapile.
Correct.
Got it.
Can't
I get another matric certificate?
No, it's fine. We can always go back. You're more than welcome to come back,
I should have passed.
Playing is always the key.
Oh, man. I must say what we're chatting about also, for me, Lerato is very close to my heart. As a mom who has actually got twins at an ECD, turning 2 to next month. So let's start here. Why is early learning and stimulation so important for children, Lerato?
You know what? Early learning years are very critical in a child's cognitive and physical development. The ages 0 to 5 years are very vital for them to pick up our mother tongue language, be able to have perception motor skills, which is required for them going forth in terms of reading and writing and the basic numeracy concepts for their educational careers going forth. So it's very vital to have our children be stimulated in a very safe and warm environment.
Wow, Lerato, it's Ray here. And I need to ask, this is interesting, but what is the registration drive and why is it important?
Well, as a department, we recognized that previously our registration process was very tedious. The new Banapile Mass Registration Drive, it is us saying as a Department of Basic Education, we want all our ECDs that are out there that are looking after our children to come into our regulatory net, to be able to be assisted to comply with all the legal requirements that we have, and further down the line to assist them in getting a subsidy going forth for all the children in that center to be able to, get good nutrition and be in a safe environment. It's also a drive that we've introduced to make the process easier. It was a tedious process going forth, but also for our officials to be able to do the registration process faster, because now it's easier and it's online.
I see.
Interesting. So what's the new registration process, Lerato, from bronze to gold that is?
Well, we have comprises of 3 stages for every ECD program to move through. There's the apply, comply, and the complete stage. With the apply stage, our ECD programs literally just go online, which is our e-test system, or they can use our WhatsApp bot or your USSD number, and then they receive an initial bronze certificate. Once that is done, they then move to the comply stage, which they now need to just comply with our minimum norms and standards. And then our social worker goes out there and conducts a site visit. We will then lead them to that complete stage, which then will be issued with either a silver or a gold certificate.
I hear you quite well. And then what is the new bronze registration?
Well, this is a new bronze registration. It's our new way of registering. It is faster. It allows our ECD programs to be there on the system quicker, using our new platform, which is called the eCare. They have to do it themselves. If they cannot, there is also our call center, which they can call, or the call center calls them. They can also use our WhatsApp bot. We've also got NGO partners in every province that assist and have applications clinics that assist these ECD programs to apply online. It's easy. All they need to do is just log on, complete a health and safety assessment, submit a certified ID copy, and Form 30, which allows us to check for the CPR for all the staff members that are in that center. Once they've submitted the application and have gone through all the review process, then they get issued their bronze certificate and then move over to the silver process.
Very interesting, I must say. But how do you apply then for this bronze registration?
As I said, everything now is online. So they can just go to our DBE website, which is https://user registration and dbecares.gov.za. You register your profile there. You will get an OTP to your cell phone number, and then from then on, it's just step by step where the applicant, which is mostly the principal or the center manager, doing the health and safety assessment, and as I said, just uploading the certified ID copies of all the staff members in the center, as well as the Form 30. Once that is done, you go through the whole review process by our social workers, and then the outcome is online on the eCare system. You will get an SMS back to say you have been now registered, you are now a bronze certified center. Further down the line after that, to then complete to the silver stage, you will then get an additional SMS that will tell you the further instructions to proceed to silver and what documentation you would need to submit.
All right, and what are the channels of application support availabilities?
Oh, that's a very easy thing. And I just want to add on top of that there is no payment. All these registration processes is free. All you need to do is just dial our USSD number. I don't know if I'm saying that correctly. You will need to be bothered, but it's *134 *777 #. Then our WhatsApp number is 087 725 2059, or you can have our call center agent call you back once you've registered on that WhatsApp if you need assistance. With the USSD number, once you are there, we will give you a call back within 7 days and be able to assist you in any need that you need. We also, if you do not have that Form 30 that is required for you to submit, you can always go onto that WhatsApp number and download the form, or go onto our DBE website or the ECD Info Hub, and you'll get all the information that you read on there.
Interesting. Now tell me, Lerato, why is it so important for a child to attend a registered school? And I'm asking this, Lerato, because I was looking for a new preschool for my kids, and I heard the principal repeatedly stressing how they're registered, and are compliant with the ECD center. And I was like, what is this about? So why is it so important?
It is very important for our kids to be attending centers that are registered and that comply with our norms and standards and our government regulations. It's also for us to make sure that our kids are in a safe and nurturing environment and getting the good quality education that they need for them to go forth. So that is the reason that we want all these centers to come forth and register, and our kids attend these schools, that they'll be able to get quality early learning programs and be in a safe environment.
Well, thank you so much, Lerato. We really appreciate your time. We appreciate. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
All right.
And everybody must come forth and register.
Oh, yes.
Banapili all the time.
Banapili all the time. Thank you. Thank you so much. All right.
Thank you very much.
All right there.
Bye.
Yeah, interesting indeed.
Very. Like I say, Pastor Ray, as a person with two little ones, we always want to make sure they get a good education. And I always say it's not just about them being vocal. There's just so much to learn. Making sure all the channels are actually followed. Yeah. So, hey, put your children first. If you've got to invest in their education first, let that be one thing you prioritize.
All right. Coming up next, we are going to be talking to the CEO of Radio Pulpit, Karel Verhoef. He has been waiting. He has been here all the time.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, Karel keeps time, man. As far as I know him, he keeps time.
Very, very punctual.
Let's play a song and then we'll talk to Karel after this.
to you with all my faith. That's why I'm giving you my heart, my mind, my soul. Oh Lord, my heart, my mind, my soul. Oh Lord, you gave it all up for love when everybody else was holding back. But most of all, you gave me joy, even when I stood on shaky ground. Fulfilling every need, you never let me down. No greater love have I found. I trust you from the bottom of my heart, my mind, my soul. Oh Jesus, my heart, my mind, my soul. And finally, ooh, I'm lost and lonely, and I struggle through shadows, searching for the light. You love me like you're one and only. Oh Lord, that's why I offer you my heart, my mind, my soul. Oh Lord, my heart, my mind, my soul. Oh Jesus, ooh, oh Lord, how can I show you how I feel? Ooh, I want to be your servant, give you all my love, give you all my love. Just show me what to do, how to love. Every day, teach you all. Oh no, I lay my life before you. Show me how to live. Show me.
Elder Badge.
Show me.
It's a beautiful one, I tell you.
Show me.
Heart, mind, and soul.
Teach me.
Always told you, man. They've been doing gospel since they were little kiddies.
My soul.
Visiothon 2025. And of course, I'm sitting up with Lukho. I told you that we will be talking to the CEO of Radio Pulpit, Karel Verhoef. He's in the house. Karel, hey.
Ray, what a privilege to be with you again. Us two veterans here in the same studio.
Veterans.
Yes, of course.
Sen-
Of course.
can I say senior citizens?
Not yet.
Not there
No,
yet.
look at us. Look at us. Look at us.
And then also the young ones, the new ones.
Yeah.
Shall we say.
Yeah. Are you well, Karel?
I'm very well, thank you.
You look healthy, man. What do you
Yes.
eat?
Oh, well, I just try to keep fit and not gain some extra weight. And
Yes.
that's about it.
I was
Yeah.
motivated by you. Look,
And
man, I don't even have a belly, you know.
Walking and I'm gymming and
Yes,
so on.
that's
know.
nice. No, that's nice. That's
Yeah.
nice. Now, Karel, you are the CEO, man, and you are taking Radio Pulpit into new heights. And this is one of the milestones, in the wave and also, in the uncertainties, you continue to be optimistic. Would you start by explaining what the Visiothon is and why it's such an important event for Radio Pulpit?
This is about the 15th year, right, that we have a Visiothon.
Yeah.
We didn't always have that with our association with UCB International. We sort of learned from other stations, UCB England and UCB Australia,
Yeah.
how they did this. So we started it, and it's one of our most successful income generating projects at Radio
Yes.
Pulpit.
Yes.
We have it twice a year, in May and in November, always in those 2 months.
Yeah.
And then we ask our listeners to invest into our vision. So the word vision is compiled from the word vision and radiothon. So you mix the two and then you get the Visiothon.
Yes.
We ask, please, invest in our vision. Now, our vision here at Radio Pulpit, you know very well, it is to inspire people to have a meaningful relationship with Christ.
Yeah.
That's our vision. That's
Yes.
the primary reason that we exist.
Mm.
So it's not our ministry. It's not the listener's ministry. It's God's ministry.
Absolutely.
We are just co-workers in His kingdom. So that is why with confidence and with authority, we can ask, please invest in this ministry that belongs to God.
Absolutely.
We are only the stewards of
Yeah.
the money.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Now, Rev, tell me, this year's vision, or rather Visiothon theme is help us bring the gospel home. So what inspired this theme and how does it align with Radio Pulpit's mission?
Yes, as I said, our vision is to inspire people to have a meaningful relationship with Christ. Now, if you think of home, there's a saying that your home is where your heart is.
True.
Absolutely.
So, if we say bring the gospel home, we want to bring the gospel firstly into your heart.
Yeah.
You who are listening, firstly in your heart. That is what we mean. We want the gospel to find a home in your heart.
In your heart. Oh.
We want you to be inspired to have a meaningful relationship with Christ. That's the first thing we mean. And then the second thing is, wherever you stay or wherever you go, that is where we want to bring the gospel to you.
Yeah.
Or wherever you listen or whatever you use to listen to Radio Pulpit or to consume any other media, that is where we want to bring the gospel to you. And then when we say we want to speak to your heart, because here at Radio Pulpit, in fact, we're all just open heart surgeons. We replace hearts, don't we?
I agree, definitely.
When this station is finished with you, God has transplanted your heart into a new one, isn't
Absolutely.
that so?
Yeah.
So
Absolutely.
we are those people standing amongst the operating table, and when the doctor said scalpel, we give the scalpel. That's what we do. But God is doing open heart surgery through this radio station. And people know God the best in the home language.
Sure.
Yes.
True.
Surely home language is changing, definitely, but you know God mostly in the language of your heart.
True.
So that is what Radio Pulpit has been doing for almost 45 years now that we are in existence. And we spread the gospel in the 11 primary languages in South Africa. That is what we do. We want to speak into your heart. But we also know that we've got worldwide listeners. The other day, Johan Els did a test on air by saying, tell us from where you're listening. In that following 15 minutes and half an hour, we received from almost, I think, 12 different countries.
Wow.
We received people telling where they are, and it's really just across.
Wow.
It's amazing.
So, when we say bring the gospel home, when we bring the gospel home, even if you live in New Zealand, even if you live in Nigeria,
in Mokopane.
or just around the corner,
Yes.
we want to bring the gospel into your heart,
Absolutely.
into your home, wherever you are.
Interesting, Pastor Ray, that Reverend Carol speaks of how we receive the gospel in our language as well. Weirdest thing ever, no matter how much English I speak, when I pray, I think I'll always have Xhosa lines somewhere. Somewhere. It's very relatable. I don't know what it is, Rev, but they always find a joke with my language. So that's why he's having that line.
Yeah.
It's because I can't speak it. Of course.
Exactly.
Karen, the broadcasting landscape as well as our country is facing significant challenges. How are these impacting Radio Pulpit and what steps are being taken to overcome them?
I think our country, as most other countries in the world, are currently experiencing severe political and economical turmoil and turbulence. I must say it's been a crazy year up to now. I think it's more crazy than the COVID year.
Yeah, absolutely. There's so much
What a
drama.
comparison.
No, it's true.
And people are getting hopeless all over the world. The wars are not ending.
Yeah.
The one country is bullying the other country, and then they bully back. It's a whole economical trade war out there. While you and us, who are the shall we say, middle income earners, we just sit and look like spectators.
Yeah.
How the big ones are punching up each other and shooting at each other.
Eish.
So that's unfortunately the world that we live in. I just want to remind you that the Bible was written in turbulent times.
Absolutely.
It wasn't written for your sofa couching relaxation, or when you're there on Zanzibar Island having a holiday, you've got something nice to read. It was hope and inspiration
Yes.
amongst
Painful times.
painful and deadly times. I mean, the Roman Empire was in control, and they killed the Jews
Cruel.
one by one, and,
Sure.
and the Christians. I mean, so if you read in the Bible hope and comfort, I mean, that is what we are bringing. And
True.
our turbulent times is not as bad as theirs.
Yeah.
Now, Ray, you were asking what is changing in the broadcasting
Oh,
field.
yes. How are these impacting Radio Pulpit?
Well, there's a shortage of FM frequencies in South Africa. South Africa is flooded with FM radio stations, so we are really struggling to get the FM solution for Radio Pulpit. But we are making progress. We believe that we will be on FM as well shortly.
Yeah.
Because medium wave or AM that we're currently broadcasting on is a dying technology. It's aging, it becomes unaffordable, so we give it 5, maximum 10 years, then we will not be able to broadcast on medium wave anymore. So we are looking at the satellites, we're looking at all the other platforms. Wherever there's a platform available, we will be, including FM options that we are exploring. And I heard there's some rumors about satellites coming or not.
Yeah.
You know, and open up
From this side and this side.
some affordable data.
Yeah.
But I believe it's inevitable. Whoever supplies the satellites with affordable internet access, it'll come.
Yeah.
It will.
And
it
it'll
will.
come. Whether in 3 or 5 years, I think in 3 or 5 years.
Yeah. It's
So what we do is we want to reach people worldwide on online channels.
Yeah.
We know that in 3 to 5 years, at the latest 10 years, there will not be FM and medium wave
Absolutely.
frequencies anymore. People listen to radio online.
online, yes.
Or they will download podcast or whatever. But we believe we have to be in the future. Now, a quick story. How much time do I think I've got a minute or two. You know, we as management, when we think about the theme for a Visiothon, we pray about it.
Yes.
And we wait to hear the Lord, and hear what the Lord says, and
saying.
find His heart for us. We believe that we are already in the future. We are looking back.
Yeah.
Now, I was at a funeral on Monday where someone compared Johan Pienaar, and he was on our board at Radio Pulpit. He passed away.
Yes.
Now, you get two kinds of people. The one stands on the beach and he watches the horizon and he sees a boat disappearing after the horizon.
Yeah.
The other one looks at the horizon and he sees that same boat arriving over the horizon.
Approaching.
Yeah.
So this Johan Pienaar was a guy who sees boats arriving over the horizon with new opportunity.
Wow.
Now we believe we are on that beach where we see the boat of digital radio arriving. Online radio, it's arriving, it's coming over the horizon.
Yes.
We want to be first, right? Do you know, Lukho, do you know any other community radio station with 5 digital online radio stations?
Actually not.
No.
Nope.
Now that you mention it.
No.
We will be there by the end of the year. We're going to launch
Come on.
another online station in November. Next week, we're launching an Afrikaans online
Hartklank.
radio station. Hartklank, it means the sound of your heart.
Yes.
And then Pulpit Jikelele, which you very well know, means everywhere.
Everywhere.
Yep.
Yes.
So we believe we are already in the future. We see the boat coming.
Yes.
And we want to be ready for that day. And
Yeah.
Wow.
that's where we are on the steps we are taking, right,
Absolutely.
to face the changing broadcasting
Absolutely.
landscape.
That's brilliant.
Talk about being steps ahead.
Absolutely.
Now, Rev Karel, tell me, Radio Pulpit has always been a source of hope and encouragement. So how do you see the station playing a role in helping our listeners navigate their own challenges during these times?
That is why we years ago chose for the slogan, your daily companion.
Yeah.
Your daily companion. You know, other radio stations use slogans like words to keep you out of hell or something like that, you know. Repent and rejoice, you know.
Yeah.
We said, no, we are that friend of yours, that Christian friend that will not judge you, that will walk with you every day of the
Give you
week.
companionship.
Yes, we know you're troubled. We know you're not perfect, but we're going to walk with you. Firstly, because we know that people need hope and comfort and inspiration during these times. So, firstly, we want to be your daily companion every day of the week, and then we will be there in your good times, your bad times, your easy times, your difficult times. We've been there for 45 years now, almost 45 years.
Yes.
As I said, the Bible wasn't written for people on holiday.
Yeah.
It's written for people who are struggling to stay alive and to proclaim the word of God and to testify that Jesus is the Son of God.
Absolutely.
So
Absolutely.
that is what we are doing. When we say we are spreading the gospel, that is what we are spreading. During turbulent times, we give hope and encouragement. And that is what Radio Pulpit will do for our listeners every day through their difficult times.
Now, reaching more people with the gospel is at the heart of Radio Pulpit's mission. Even as you said, how can listeners actively support this mission, especially with the launch of the 2 online stations, Radio Council Hartlank and Radio Pulpit Jigelele?
We at Radio Pulpit follow an and approach. We do not choose for one road for the future. We choose FM and we choose satellites and we choose social media and we choose online radio. Whatever we can afford and wherever our listeners use media, we have an and approach. And that is why Jikelele, that means everywhere, and Hartlank will be the stations that will take us into the future. Now, we know that online is growing very rapidly and is exponentially, that word. And we know that our global audience will grow a lot. Wherever our South African people live, they will listen. So, what can our listeners do? Firstly, by telling everyone they know that they can now listen to Radio Pulpit on 2 online stations as well.
Yes.
Go,
Absolutely.
populate those 2 stations that we can migrate and say goodbye to old technology shortly. That's the first thing. Secondly, please invest financially in the station.
Yes.
It's God's station.
Yes.
We need to acquire very expensive equipment to launch these 2 radio stations and the other one.
Especially those OB vans.
Then, of course, glad you're saying that OB vans, we want to be visible in your community.
Absolutely.
Otherwise, people won't know about us. And we need vehicles to do that.
Yes.
We don't have enough vehicles to go to our listeners and to be visible at the moment. We ask you, please donate for us that we can acquire vehicles. And then lastly, help us to market these stations worldwide. Especially firstly in South Africa. I mean, that's our primary priority, is our own South African audience, but also worldwide. And that's why we ask you, please donate in this Visiothon. Donate so that we can bring the gospel home and everywhere. I'm pretty sure you're going to tell them how to donate now, Lukho.
Of course. Definitely.
Yeah, absolutely. Karel, thank you so much. Thank you for sharing your vision. We look forward to hearing more during the Visiothon, seeing how our listeners will come alongside us in this exciting mission. Thank you.
Thank you, Ryan. Thank you, Lukho, very much for the afternoon and the conversation.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Pastor, we're no longer going to be moving around with big radios with us. And I think that's the point we're missing. We're always on our phones. Let's be realistic. We're always on the net.
I was running in the morning yesterday, around 4:30 in the morning. Then I meet these guys, the contract workers.
Yes.
He has a phone that is playing a radio. And people that are running, they are playing the radio. So
exactly.
This migration is inevitable.
You know what? I often have to go to Cape Town for business there for Radio Pulpit. Now, the past 2 times that I went there in this year, I have to rent a smallish car.
Yeah.
Because I don't have a car there.
Mm.
And both these times I couldn't find a radio in the car. You can't
Exactly.
listen to medium wave or medium or FM.
yeah,
You have to plug a USB or you have to do
Exactly.
Bluetooth or you can't listen
Yeah.
to radio without a cell phone.
Yeah.
Mm.
So
I
they
was
know
so
that it's
annoyed.
with you now.
You
Yeah.
know, I'm old school. I like my car radio, but I guess they told me, listen, the future is here.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Get
Yeah.
over yourself.
Yeah.
And
And speaking of that, the future of sharing the gospel is here. Online listening is booming, and Radio Pulpit is ready to embrace it with 2 brand new online stations, Radio Kansel Hartlank and Radio Pulpit Chikelele. But we need your help to make it a reality. Your support will help us. It will help us acquire cutting-edge equipment, visit your community with outside broadcast vehicles, share the gospel worldwide. So partner with us today to reach our target of 3 million rand.
Yeah.
So SMS give, it's GIV and your amount to 37871. That's give to 37871, or you can WhatsApp us at 082 657 2729. Pastor Ray, I work with repetitions because that way you can remember. So our WhatsApp is 082 657 2729. Together, we're touching lives everywhere. Radio Pulpit, bringing hope and faith to hearts around the world.
There you go. There you go. Start with the name Give, and of course, we are awaiting, and thank you so much, Claudia in the woman NPO. Valerius says, please repeat the details.
We'll definitely do that for you,
Yeah,
Malami.
right. Thank you so much, Karel. We
Thank you.
appreciate.
Thanks a lot, guys.
All right
Pleasure.
then. All right then. King Lucas, Shepherd is the name of the song. I trust you will enjoy.
Where can I go from your love? Your rod and your staff is where I find my comfort. I cannot run from your mercy. You always surround me. In you I live and have my being. You said your sheep know your voice. Well, I hear you calling me, drawing me closer. Even in darkness you find me. I'm never forsaken. You leave the 99 to find the one. Always, yeah. You searched me and you know me. You heard me right beside you. Such knowledge is too wonderful for me. Yeah, yeah. And how precious are your thoughts for me. The plans you have to prosper me. As I stand here, I'm amazed by your love. Your love. You are my shepherd. You are my shepherd. 'Cause I am convinced that neither death nor life can separate me from this sweet love of God. He paid the price so
This traffic update is brought to you by the Ear Institute, where excellent hearing begins. The Ear Institute guarantees your hearing will improve or your money back. This traffic update was sponsored by the Ear Institute, where excellent hearing begins. The Ear Institute guarantees your hearing will improve or your money back.
Are you struggling to hear in noise? We can help. At the Ear Institute, we guarantee your hearing will improve, or we will refund your money. We are situated throughout South Africa and Namibia, and our professional team will offer you the best advice. Visit earinstitute.co.za for your nearest branch. Call us today. Ear Institute, where excellent hearing begins. T's and C's apply.
The future of sharing the gospel is here. Online listening is growing rapidly, and Radio Pulpit is ready with 2 brand new online stations, Radio Kansel Hartklank and Radio Pulpit Jikelele. Your support can make it happen. Help us acquire cutting-edge equipment, visit your community with outside broadcast vehicles, and share the gospel worldwide. Partner with us today to reach our target of 3 million rand. SMS GIVE and your amount to 37871 or send a WhatsApp to 082 657 2729. Together, we're touching lives everywhere.
All right, 657 medium wave, Radio Pulpit, Visiothon 2025, and I'm squatting here at Lukho's.
You're squatting?
Yeah, at Lukho's.
Really now?
Yes.
No, Pastor Ray. Oh, man, still having a great time. It's Visiothon week. And we are basically just asking you to join hands with us.
Yeah.
And I was just thinking, like we were talking earlier on, Pastor Ray Phuti, oftentimes we are on our phones, we're in the world or in the space of the internet. And the truth is, before we know it, Lama radio is now, like Reverend Carl was saying, are no longer going to work. So it's time for us to move with the times. We're really inviting you to be part of the solution. All you need to do is SMS GIVE, GIVE to the number 37871. Or you can write GIVE on WhatsApp 082 657 2729.
Yeah, absolutely there. And of course, the health talk.
Yeah, with Charlene Naidu.
Mm-hmm. Do you enjoy health talks?
I do, actually. I think especially because we're not
Do you
immune.
like it when they tell you what to eat? Are you aware that I'm interrupting your answers?
I don't, but I know how essential it is.
Okay. So you keep the knowledge in the abstract.
No, but I do utilize it sometimes, but there are sometimes where I become rebellious.
I understand. You're not alone. Just wanted to tell you, you're not alone. All right, let's listen to it.
And I'm so glad we get to have this conversation, because you remember last week we had some real technological difficulties, but it's not a big deal because Charlene is ready once again. Now, we were talking last week, or we were meant to actually speak on mental health, anxiety that is, and got some shocking stats, I must say, because with the general population, apparently depression and anxiety are among the most prevalent mental health disorders in South Africa, affecting a significant portion of the population. But also that with university students, a 2023 national survey found that 37.1% of South African university students experienced an anxiety disorder in the past 30 days. Yep, you heard me right. Here's another shocking one for me, I must say, because I didn't expect this age group to be having, such known mental, I don't say mental issues, but we always think they're kids. What do they know? But adolescents in the Western Cape, a 2024 study revealed a notable levels of anxiety and depression among young adolescents aged 10 to 14 in the Western Cape province. Shocking, I must say. But before we even have a bit of a chat on that with Charlene, let me just say hi to you, my lady.
Hello, Lukho. It's so nice to join today.
Finally, we get you in.
We definitely had our own session last week, right, of anxiety with those technical difficulties. But thankfully, we're sorted today, fingers crossed. And I think it's a really good topic to get into, especially just looking at those stats you've just mentioned.
Yeah, listen, it's quite shocking stats, I must say, Charlene. But with that, I think let's start here before we really just look into them. What do you mean by anxiety versus just being worried? Because I know we loosely use these terms. I know we were also quite anxious last week, like you said. So how do we differentiate the two, Charlene?
Yes, I think this is a very important distinction. I mean, last week's example was quite good because it was linked to something short term. You know, we were having those technical difficulties, but that was more a worry related to that situation for those 20 to 30 minutes. So I think that's how we can start to understand anxiety versus just being worried because I think, Lukho, it's also easy to brush someone off when they talk about being anxious because to you, you're probably thinking, well, we all get worried about certain things at certain times. That's
Yeah.
normal. So, what do you mean that you're having anxiety? So, generalized anxiety disorder, it's kind of this very intense version of worry because worry is a natural component of anxiety, but as we said, it's that very, not very, but it's usually linked to something short term. So say you've got an amazing interview tomorrow for your dream job. So you might be worried about your presentation skills, about how you're going to come across during the interview. So that's a real life situation. But once the interview is over, that worry kind of dissipates, right?
Yeah,
It's gone.
yeah.
Now, anxiety, on the other hand, it's more intense, it's more long lasting. This is the tricky part of it and the frustrating part. It starts to affect you, like, even when there's no clear problem, it feels like you're on edge all the time. That something bad is about to happen, even when things are mostly okay. And that can really start to mess with your everyday quality of life. You know, you don't sleep properly. You feel like your heart is racing all the time. You feel like you can't concentrate and focus at work. And that's when we say that it's starting to affect your quality of life because it's actually causing you to feel sad and panicky and frustrated all the time. And there's almost no clear reason behind it. I do want to say that it's not that there's always no clear reason behind it. Lots of people are anxious about very valid things.
Yeah.
But we're talking about anxiety where it's constant, it's overwhelming, it gets in the way of you living your life. And that when it becomes this full blown anxiety disorder, and it really takes a toll on you.
Is it fair, Charlene, to say overthinkers literally live in anxiety for most of their lives? Because, those people that overthink every single thing and they'll panic and get into a ball through it. Could we categorize them as warriors or people with anxiety?
Listen, I think because I'm one of those people and I wish someone would give me a prize for this. I wish every time I overthink about something, my bank account would fill up or something.
You'd be rich by now.
I'm telling you, I would win the gold medal in the overthinking Olympics. But this is one of the things, there are certain personalities that are very prone to overthinking, to having a higher risk factor for anxiety. And it's definitely, those personalities that tend to overthink things. They spend a lot of time in their own mind and just kind of ruminating on things and going in these endless circles. There's personalities, who are very high functioning, who tend to be very perfectionistic. They need things a certain way. And they put a lot of pressure on themselves. So that's definitely one of those a few of those personalities that tend to just have a higher risk for anxiety. But honestly, Lukho, it can affect anybody. And, I really want to stress that part of removing the stigma about it is to take away the thing about, but what do you have to be anxious about?
Exactly. Now let's take a little step back, Charlene, to our stats earlier on. Just looking at our stats, why does it seem as if more people than ever are anxious?
Gosh, I mean, I know it really feels like most of the world is on edge. I feel like we're all just one thread away from an anxiety attack every single day. So I'm going to come to social media now, but I just want to look at like the really big stuff that we go through. Okay,
Yeah.
we have lived through a pandemic. There's economic stress, there's political drama, there's climate change, there's crime. There are literally wars going on incessantly across the world. There's natural disasters. It's this endless rabbit hole. And these environmental factors, and I think we've now had it for the last decade or so, where we kind of have real time access to breaking news.
Yeah.
So we can see and hear absolutely everything that's happening in real time. So if there's a war that's breaking out somewhere, you know about it in literally as it's happening.
Yeah.
If there's a crime that's happening in your town or your city, you hear about it through WhatsApp groups, through alerts. So we're constantly living through these crazy information overload. It's sensory overload. I mean, just looking at that alone, I don't even know how, how anyone cannot be anxious. Then
Sure.
we have to go to, we've spoken about it before. We've spoken about social media. We are constantly plugged in. We've got our phones buzzing. We've got emails piling up. We've got social media showing us, how everyone's life looks so great, and why doesn't your life look like this? And it's exhausting. It makes us feel like we're not doing enough, or we're behind the curve. So there's something to be anxious about. And
Yeah.
I think also it's nice that we're now finally talking openly about mental health, but it also means that more people are recognizing the anxiety and naming it.
Yeah.
So now we're kind of stuck in this convoluted melting pot. There's so many things going on. And I really think, I mean, you've probably experienced this also. If you had to meet 10 people today, probably 8 of those people would say that they have anxiety.
Yeah. Yeah. That's true. A huge number, actually. So I think you beat me to that, because I was about to ask if social media does actually play a role in that.
Definitely. I mean, I really, really think social media has a lot to answer for. I think it can seriously mess with our anxiety levels because, it's a double-edged sword. On the one hand, it keeps us connected, but then it can pull you into this thing about the comparison trap, You see everybody else's lives, you get their updates about their new jobs, their new businesses. Um, there's all sorts of studies that talk about how social media increases our feelings of inadequacy and anxiety. Going back to your stat about, especially in younger people, because the thing with image-based social media, where these visuals are such a big part of the selling of it, is that it starts to promote those feelings of, but I don't look like that, and that's not happening in my life. And that's when you get those feelings of inadequacy. And if you think about it, how many young kids are on social media from a really young age? It's the tablet generation. They know how to use cell phones. They know how to scroll on a tablet. They have access to just being online constantly. So their anxiety, unfortunately, is starting off really, really young. And unfortunately, social media does have a huge part in that.
That's true. You're actually reminding me, a couple of weeks ago, I had an interview with the Child Protection, I think, hotline. And we were talking about just how much the children are more exposed now than before. How back in the day, we had to search for things. For instance, one big argument is children nowadays are more exposed to pornographic things, whereas back in the day you had to be curious and go searching for it. Nowadays they get on the phone and it's a pop-up on their cell phone.
It's so easily accessible. It's scary, actually, how easily accessible it is.
Yeah.
And there's that point we said earlier about how we're exposed to the news that's happening immediately in the world anywhere. Kids are also exposed to that. Remember, they're also getting those crime happening, this happening, or whatever. So their anxiety, whereas for us, I think like the older generation, we grew up with a different kind of legacy media where you'd read something in a newspaper or in a magazine.
Yeah.
But so